Here at Unexplained Reality, we are 100% supportive of our service members and veterans. We have a number of veterans in our family, and my son-in-law is active duty serving our wonderful country. We have come across a wonderful veteran-owned company called Awesome Bad Clothing. They design and sell incredible t-shirts and hats, and best of all, they are veteran-owned. So check them out at awesomebadclothing.com and have a look at their awesome merchandise and let them know you heard about them from Unexplained Reality.
Good evening, and welcome to Unexplained Reality, the podcast about the weird, strange, and unexplained but real. We are delighted to have you with us. Please grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and enjoy.
Good evening, and welcome to Unexplained Reality with Brian Quinn and
Harrison Quinn.
So, how's it going?
It's pretty good, you know.
Good?
Definitely can't complain. You know, been doing pretty good.
Awesome. Good.
A little free time.
How's it going in the upstairs in your bedroom?
Upstairs it goes great. Get my homework done. Do whatever I need to do.
Right. That's not a priority, you know that.
That is priority.
It's like the last thing you do.
That's not the last thing I do.
It's like right before you gotta go to bed and we tell you, did you do your homework?
I always say yeah.
Yeah. And half the time you're
regardless.
Telling the truth.
Because when I say that, I get it done, you know, no matter when. I do end up getting it done. I mean, sometimes...
It might be right before the teacher takes it up.
It's not, yeah, that's what I was mentioning to you the other morning. I consider that an extreme sport, is doing homework while the teacher's collecting it.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry, we're off on a tangent already.
I get it done.
But you might notice we got a little more... Hopefully our sound has improved because we put some new giddy up here. And hopefully it sounds better.
Yeah. And you'll notice that we're probably about an equal amount of sound to the mic. We're not sharing one mic. We have two now. We each have our individual mics.
So it sound like we're talking in a bucket or something.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome audio, though.
It is.
You got to
admit.
admit.
Really great. The mixer that is...
The hollowness of the room coming back at that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Some people pay extra for that.
The pop filter is going to help out a lot with the being anechoic and all. So
yeah, I don't know what that means, but okay.
And meaning non-anechoic, meaning echo, so non-echoing. So it's not going to come off.
Is that a real word?
Anechoic, yeah. That's what
I don't believe that.
That's what an anechoic chamber is. It has all the...
I don't even know what that is. It has all the sound stuff in it?
It has all the like...
Soundproofing?
Acoustic foam, on it. So
that's what we're going to do in here.
Nothing echoes off of the walls. Yeah, you can do that.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
A much cheaper...
I don't care. We're going to do it.
I was say a much cheaper solution is to get a pop filter, so it doesn't... It just stops it.
I did. I got pop filters. That's what's right there.
So then we don't really need the...
We got double pop filters.
So we have it here on the mic, and so it stops it, even if it bounces off the walls and comes back to it.
Well, I got yours, so you won't be slobbering all over the mic.
Yeah, you're right.
So
sometimes sometimes when I talk, it's just a waterfall.
It just rules. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I had a high school teacher like that. He was missing a front tooth. And it was like a little trap door for slobber to come out while he was teaching. True story, actually. Actually, he wasn't missing the whole tooth. He was missing half the tooth.
Oh, so it's half the floodgate.
Yeah, so nobody would sit on like the first row because
that sucks.
He had a little bit of a lisp. Anyways, Sorry, that was
That's probably the longest tangent we've ever been.
3 minutes of your life you're never going to get back.
Never, ever.
Never. So
because that's not a thing. You can't get back time.
That's right.
That is right.
Unless you're a time traveler, then maybe you could. I need to go back 3 minutes so I can not listen to this.
If you're on,
I'm going to go back 3 minutes so I can not hit play here.
If you're on a timeline and you're moving towards your death one day, you pass that 3 minutes, and then even if you go back in time, you still, unless that's how time travel works, unless you literally, once you're back, it pushes you back 3 minutes rather than you being like 40 years old and then you going back 20 years and then being 40. If you go back 20 years, you end up being 20 again.
I don't know. You're confusing me.
It's an interesting concept.
It's Sunday night.
That's like if Marty McFly went to Back to the Future, he would be an old man rather than a teen because he's going to that point in the same timeline, which implies that he's in a different timeline.
Well, he did go back to the future, right?
Well, yeah, that's the point.
He did it, 3 times?
If he had gone back to the future and the timeline he went to was the same timeline he was on, he would have ended up being an old man. He would have just
right.
He would have gotten there and been old or possibly dead.
Right.
Depending on when
I would just wait until I got to 60 and then go back to 15 again, start over.
I would too. That would just be interesting.
Take me back to 1986.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, there we go again. So
it's inevitable.
4.5 minutes of your life have just been wasted. How does that feel?
So what are we
So anyway, so what's going on? You got any news? I didn't look up any news or nothing.
Other than the impending doom
towards
North and South
Hurricane
Carolina.
Florence is not looking good for us.
Other than that, I think everything's pretty boring compared to that.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the end of the week. That's going to be potentially a mess.
I think we're definitely going to have
for a lot of people
school off. Yeah, not even.
That's all you're caring about.
No, not even.
You don't care that people are going to be without power.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why because there's going to be
buying all the.
They're going to let
water
us out.
is in the southeast.
And I think when I was back when was it 2014 we had the October flood when it was awful.
Yeah.
They had all the schools off and everything, and that was because of the flood. But there was also a lot of drives going on, a lot of water drives for people who got hit really hard off on the coast. So I think
that really stunk because it took out some of our Jeep trails. It's the main one.
Locklear's probably still out.
Yeah, it's still out. Yeah,
it's been.
We're just not going to fix it.
It's been 4 years. You'd go out there with a backhoe and you could level the road out.
Well, you can't because it's 4 feet above that creek. So unless they put a bridge in,
stop the creek. Yeah,
I think what they should do is just get Larry with a tractor and just put a ramp on each side. We'll just have a creek crossing right there. That'd be awesome.
That'd be neat.
I wonder if anybody say anything.
You just have a ramp and just hit it at 40 and just go flying over the.
That'd be like Deuce of Hazzard.
Yeah, I was just.
Okay, now we're on 6 minutes of wasted your life. We're doing real good tonight. So this basically is a podcast about wasting your time.
Okay, Dad. So what are we talking about?
So, let's go through the first parts of it. So we're Unexplained Reality. If you haven't listened to us before, we talk about weird, strange, but real stuff. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, cryptids, ghost encounters.
Aliens.
Not saying that all that stuff's real, but people experience something.
Yeah.
And to them it is real, regardless of what anybody else thinks that wasn't there. So that's basically what we do here. And we're glad you're joining us if this is the first time, if you're a Unexplained Reality virgin. So let's see. If you have a story or an encounter and you want to talk to us or share it with us, you can reach us at unexplained.reality@yahoo.com. We are on Facebook. We have a private group and we have a page. So just go to Facebook, look for unexplainedreality.com. We have a website now. Unexplainedreality.com. I think I said that for the Facebook page. Sorry. So unexplainedreality.com is our Facebook, our website, and it has all our social media contact links on there. They float around in the bottom right corner, so you can click on those. It's probably the easiest way to hit us on Twitter or Instagram if you don't already follow us, or Facebook. Oh, we added a donate page, so button onto the website. So if you go to the website and you want to throw us some change, you hit the donate button. It'll take you to PayPal and it'll drop it right into our account and help us pay for some of this fine equipment we just purchased. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any news. Do you have any news?
Not really, no.
other than the impending doom. It seems like there was something. Oh, we lost Burt Reynolds this week. That was
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah,
that wasn't Dukes of Hazzard, dude.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry. I know.
You're such a 16-year-old kid
I'm
that
so
don't
sorry.
know greatness.
I was born in a different time than you. I'm so sorry you didn't have me.
I can't believe you just said Burt Reynolds was on Dukes of Hazzard. Oh
hey,
my!
You know what?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe you just did that.
Smokey and the Bandit and Dukes of Hazzard were both legend movies.
Yeah, but they're different.
Oh, I know, but they're both
different spectrums.
Both legendary status.
Yeah, they are legendary. Yes, that was a real sad thing to hear. But I mean, the guy was 82 years old. He lived a really good life, but I think he had a heart attack. So I don't think it was like he's been in failing health or nothing. I think he just had a heart attack and he was gone. Just unexpected, tragic. I don't think I have anything else. I guess we'll get right into our show tonight. All right, so tonight we got contacted by a listener. I think this person was a new listener, and they shared something with us, a video. It's actually on YouTube. You can go check it out. And we watched it a number of times. And at first, when I first watched it, I wasn't sure about it. But the more I watched it and looked at the analysis that was done on this video, and I believe, there's something there to me. And I think Harrison agrees, right? So, anyways, in April 2017, a crop duster was videoing his crops using a GoPro camera attached to the bottom of his Cessna airplane, and he was controlling it via remote control. And this video actually will be posted. We'll have a link to it on our website, and I don't think I can post it in YouTube because it's a YouTube. So just go to our website and you'll see it. I think I can do it with show notes or something underneath this episode. So anyway, in this video, you will see the pilot is ending his run over a field, and it to me it appears that I'm thinking it's like in the evening, maybe when the video was taken. But anyways, he's flying over this field and he's pulling away from it, and in his words, he was messing around with a remote, trying to get the remote for the GoPro to shut it off. And he actually filmed a little bit of the Mensas River, and that's in Louisiana. And towards the top of the screen in his footage, there's a bend in the river. And as that bend begins to open up, you can see a dark oblong kind of shape in the river towards the right bank. And as the plane gets closer, I guess it's going up in elevation a bit, but you will see that this object appears to get smaller and the water becomes unsettled around the edges as the object submerges. Eventually, whatever this is goes completely under, and the water creates a little bit of a wave. It appears, to me, that it does. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but that's what it looks like. And, it was something you would expect to see when something goes underwater and causes the water around it to converge on itself, basically, and creates that little ripple. There are a couple things that kind of struck me about that video. First off, it's not easy to catch this anomaly. I watched the video a number of times before I really realized. In fact, I might never have seen it had it not been for the video analysis that zoomed in on it. Said, hey, this is where it's at, dummy. And to me, that feeds right into the background story of the crop duster fumbling around to grab his remote and not getting the camera shut off right as he, finishes the field that he was doing. And so, thank goodness he didn't get the camera off. So, we were able to see this footage. But second off, whatever's in the water is, appears to be pretty good size compared to the rest of the river, And it appears to be just the back of something. So the head or tail are not visible in the footage. So those parts, I guess, were still underwater. And, granted, that is assuming, and you know what they say about assuming, that this is indeed a living, breathing animal. However, I don't, as far as I know, logs and objects like that don't go underwater when they're spooked by a plane coming or approaching plane. So I've read quite a few posts and comments in reference to the video, and there's a lot of quite a few of these posts state that this is just an eddy in the river, and that the dark spot is a reflection of the trees from the opposite bank and the smooth water, the eddy. I can kind of see that until the plane gets closer, and you can tell there's something above the water, and it goes down, or this way it appears to me, which ends in a little what appears to be a little white cap caused by the water converging on itself. I don't believe you can explain it that way, but like I said, I'm not an expert. So besides, I watched quite a few videos and read about the Mensas River, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. And it does not appear by any means to be a fast moving river. It appears to be very slow and meandering river, and not in any kind of hurry. Yeah, I guess this too is subjective, because it would depend on the amount of water in the river, the level of it. Because as rivers get more full or overflowing, they tend to they tend to flow a lot faster. So another interesting tidbit of information about this is the location where this sighting, or where this appears this object goes underwater, is pretty remote. The parish it's in is it's a lot of bayous around, a lot of waterways, and it is not very populated. It's very rural, and that section of the river where this happened is about 6 miles on the north end of Glade Bayou, and there's a boat ramp about 6 miles to the north. I'm sorry, 6 miles to the north of where this happened, there's a boat ramp, and 10 miles south is a boat ramp. So, you're almost like in equidistant there from the two. So there's not much going on, if that's the case, around this area. I'm sure you can still have boat activity, but you're always got more boat activity around launches than you are in areas where there aren't any. So, along with this, to kind of substantiate this, there are a couple eyewitness accounts, but the best one happened in is stated to be the early summer of 1995, and is a late afternoon sighting. It was about 20 minutes south from where the video was filmed. And now, granted, this video was filmed in April 2017, so this is, what's the math, 22 years later that this was filmed. This was 22 years prior to this footage is when this sighting happened. The witness and a friend were standing at the river, or on the bank of the river, when they saw something large coming down the river. It was protruding above the water, and at first they thought it was a log. However, when it got closer, it appeared to be aquatic creature, something that was swimming in the water. And what got to close to where they were at on the bank, it turned and swam across to the opposite bank, so away from them across the river. So across the current, whatever that may have been in the river at that time. And then it turned and headed back up the river. So when it came down towards them, turned, swam across the river away from them to the opposite bank, and then swam up the river. And during this time, they could see, that was swimming along smoothly. It had tail movement, so it was definitely some kind of animal. And it was huge. They said it was at least 20 feet long. They had a 20-foot party barge that was tied up at the bank, or anchored there close to the bank. and they said that it was longer than the party barge. The body was protruding from the water. Its head and tail were lower at the, close to the water line. It was dark. It had rough skin, had ridges down the back, and they claimed it looked like an alligator, but they were sure it wasn't an alligator. The best description they could give was a dinosaur, a prehistoric monster. She said it was unlike anything she'd ever seen in the river or anywhere else. They had a clear and unobstructed view of the anomaly as they stood on the bank watching it, and they were pretty close. And this person has been on the river for 20 plus years, and this is the only time she saw something like that. And they talked about, I guess, apparently at some point this person talked about their incident, and it was overheard by an older gentleman who said he saw the same kind of huge dinosaur creature years before in that same general area. And I think there's, unless it was this older gentleman, there was also a sighting by a sheriff's deputy that saw something very similar, but I didn't have the details of that statement or that sighting. I don't know if a statement was ever, usually with cops, and don't usually provide a statement for something like that. But yeah, I don't. It kind of sounds like an alligator to me. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so how big is the object, or in the video, the anomaly that we saw from the video analysis, which was done, which was pretty incredible. The part that is visible out of the water at its most visible point appears to be about 27 feet in length, as it was calculated in that video. And I think it was calculated to be about 2 feet out of the water at its most visible point. And as the video stated, the width can't accurately be calculated due to the angle that the airplane was coming in, approaching the anomaly. So, here's a little discussion point for us, buddy. These are some of the supposed explanations of it. It's a log. Do you think it's a log?
No, not the way that it's submerged.
I mean, logs don't just go underwater.
Even if it did, even if it took on water and submerged, it went too smoothly to be a log. It would
It's very controlled.
Would go and it would go down. It was low.
Yeah.
When it went down, it was very strange.
Right. I mean, even if you had like a current in the river to pull it under or something like an eddy, it would have to be substantial force and even to pull it straight down, because that would have to be a big log. And the next one was, it's a log in a tidal pool or eddy caused by the river. Nah, it's not a problem. No, I mean, not going to happen the same way. The third one, it's a reflection. I kind of saw that at the beginning that it could be, but when you zoom into it, to me, it looks like you can see a wake or a ripple coming off of it as it goes under.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, I guess it could be a trick of the eye, but it tricked me if it is. It looks to me like something left a little wake there when it went under. A submersible. Why would you have that in a river, first off?
Unless it was something.
It's a Mexican drug cartel trying to pump drugs up into Louisiana.
The Hunley version 2.0.
Yeah.
Mississippi or Louisiana River.
El Chapo Hunley.
He escaped again.
Yeah, he's pedaling up the Tensas River, trying to get into the bayous there so nobody will come get him. I mean, if you had a submersible, it would be, usually you have something there. They don't just go underwater. They got to release pressure to be able to go underwater, Yeah. So they got to blow out air to get under. 5, it's a hoax created by an object floating in the water and then being pulled underwater. If it's that big and it's floating on top of the water, it's going to take some extreme force to get it underwater.
It would take extreme force, and there would either have to be some sort of pulley or motor system under the water to pull it down, or there would be multiple people And
Well, even I don't even think people could do it if it's 27 feet long.
Yeah, why would you even hoax something like that? You know,
Right in the middle of oh wait a minute, here comes a crop duster. Let's hope he doesn't stop filming before we pull this thing underwater.
And even if the crop duster was in on it, why? There's so many more like detailed opportunities you could take at hoaxing something rather than just you barely see something and it goes underwater. And
right.
Like, what is that? You could have much more clear video.
Right,
footage.
make it more visible before it goes under.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of we're in the same ballpark there. So what could this be? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of. I mean, I know about pre-Clovis creatures, especially, but I mean, I don't know of any behavior of any animal today alive that it when it submerges, it goes directly underneath the water. They usually kick their tail and then push their head downwards and then just go under. They don't just float downwards.
Right, just nice and controlled, just smoothly.
Usually use even if they have dorsal fins, they don't push them up. They use them to like kind of glide in the water. They don't just go level under. It's just
the only thing I could think of that could do something like that is either an alligator or a hippo.
Yeah, I've seen alligators and hippos do both of those. I've seen that
they just can drop down,
kind of go under. Yeah, alligators do.
Yeah,
but there's no way it's a big dolphin or a whale or something because whales move pretty quickly.
When
they go under.
So we had this visible portion of some creature exposed, and it's 27 feet in length, and it appeared that the head and tail of that creature are still underwater in the footage because you can't see anything visible. So obviously, considering the location of this footage and what we know about the area and its wildlife, a large alligator would be a possible explanation for this unidentified creature. Well, the problem is, on average, a male alligator comes in at around 11 feet and 600 pounds. That's average. Obviously, anybody who has been to an alligator farm or watched swamp people knows that there are bigger beasts out there in the alligator family. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, they have what is claimed to be the largest living captive member of the crocodilian family. His name is Utan, and he is just over 18 feet long, weighs in at 2,000 pounds, and is a hybrid between a saltwater croc and a Siamese croc. So, as you know, saltwater crocs are huge and regularly get in the 20-foot range, and many times they can grow beyond that.
Yeah, I looked up the world record size crocodile, and apparently Lolong died February 10th, 2013, was the largest crocodile in captivity in the world. He was a saltwater crocodile, and he measured at 6.17 meters, which is 20 feet 3 inches, and he weighed over 1,000 kilograms, which is 2,300 pounds.
Wow. Well, I mean, and those are saltwater crocs.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about saltwater crocs. What is the chances that a saltwater croc would be roaming a remote stretch of the Mensas River in rural Louisiana? Yeah. First, I would have to question how a saltwater croc would get to such a location, seeing that there's not enough natural habitat close to this area. They're found in Australia, northern Australia, eastern India, and Southeast Asia. And, typically it's where they're found. And although they've been spotted far out at sea, it would be far-fetched to think that it would naturally somehow get to the Mensas River. It's like virtually impossible. I would not believe it would be possible for someone to have smuggled a saltwater croc out of native lands. I guess possibly there's some black market for it, but I don't know. They would have to smuggle it and then release it into the bayous of Louisiana. And, kind of getting off here on a tangent, but yeah, we're still faced with the fact that calculated that the exposed part of this creature is 27 feet long, and that's without a head or a tail. So that's huge. There's no recorded salty that's even close to that. Right? So what about a dinosaur? So this one's for you. What kind of dinosaurs would fit the bill here? just on an off chance we have a dinosaur type creature that somehow survived the downfall of the rest of the dino world.
At that size, I'd be thinking either a large a large or small mosasaurus, or maybe a tylosaurus is my guess. They're both marine reptiles. They're not dinosaurs, because dinosaurs were land terrestrial.
Sorry.
Were terrestrial. No, I'm just saying. Just to let you know.
I've been corrected.
But dinosaurs were terrestrial reptiles. But when people think of mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, tylosaurs, all of the things in that type of family, they think fish. But it's not actually fish. It's a marine reptile, such as dolphins are marine mammals. Everybody thinks a dolphin's a fish, and so do whales, but they're actually mammals.
Right.
But I don't think it's a plesiosaur. Plesiosaurs were pretty lengthy, and they had an extremely long neck. Those were the ones that had the thick bodies and the real long neck, and the head, the wicked head on the end.
Yeah.
Mosasaurs were a bit more together, big stocky bodies and big stocky heads as well. But they usually have big crests or a big spine on the back. I don't think it would be a mosasaur or a tylosaur or something of that sort, because it would be visible. The scales would be visible at that size. You'd be able to make out a scaly texture. It kind of looked smooth to me almost.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it did look kind of.
That is one of the things that kind of disproved it as a log for me. It didn't look rough, or didn't have any branches or anything hanging off of it. It looked very, almost like handmade or crafted, almost artificial. Maybe it was like a government type thing, a submarine or something. I have no clue, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I had this article that was also sent to us. It's Southern Memories and Updates.com is where it comes from. It's called True Stories from the American South. Gigantic Louisiana sea monster unearthed along what I thought was called the Oshita River, but apparently it's the Washita River. So I'm pretty sure I've pronounced that many times the wrong way over the years. But this comes from, this article is from June 9th, 2011. So Monroe, Louisiana, August 15th, 1832. Nothing like this has ever been seen by man. So I think this article was originally, published in like a newspaper or something in Monroe, Louisiana. But anyways, the bones of a gigantic sea monster that lived millions of years ago and that is nearly 100 feet in length and must have weighed 5 to 10 tons has been found along the Washita River on a farm about 50 miles south of here, which is Monroe, Louisiana, several hundred miles from any ocean. What is it? How did it get here? And are there more of them? Judge Henry Bry, wealthy plantation owner and one of the founders of the Monroe settlement, who moved to the Washita River Valley soon after the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, rescued these bones from a local farmer last spring. This story has been unfolding for more than 3 years. In 1829, Judge Bry was called to the farm to look at a cliff about 40 feet high, part of which had slid down into the Washita River after heavy rains. The remaining part of the cliff left exposed a whole stratum of bones more than 400 feet long and about 35 feet from the top surface. The judge dug out a few bones and told the farmer he would be back to excavate. Unfortunately, it would take 3 years for the judge to return, and he only did it this spring because he heard the farmer was using the bones as andirons in his fireplace. Judge Bry wanted to know what kind of creature this was. Continued andiron use would tell him nothing. He researched who could provide him answers. The judge carefully removed many more bones from the cliff, created them up, and sent them to a surgeon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania named Dr. Richard Harlan, who was also one of the few paleontologists in the United States at that time. Paleontologists study prehistoric life. Judge Bry enclosed a letter in the crate telling Dr. Harlan, quote, "A scientific memoir cannot be expected from one like me, who has now spent 30 years of his existence literally living in the remotest forests of Louisiana, whose life has, during this time period, been entirely devoted to agricultural pursuits, end quotes. However, the judge continued in the letter, quote, if I can presume to express an opinion as to the animal to which these bones belong, I should venture to say that they were part of a sea monster, end quote. But where's the sea? After several months of study, Dr. Harlan arrived at the same conclusion. He decided that the vertebrae came from the backbone of a giant extinct marine reptile. Dr. Harlan notified Judge Bry that he had named this remarkable sea monster Basilosaurus, or King of the Reptiles. Not getting the full story and only hearing the word sea monster, many of our local fishermen along the Washita reportedly have been cautious about the big strikes on their lines here of late. On their hook could be a big old catfish, or it could be something about 2,000 times bigger. So this is an update to that article. It says we now know that what Judge Bry sent to Dr. Harlan nearly 2 centuries ago were the bones of a ferocious whale, not a reptile, that lived some 45 million years ago. We know it was ferocious because its fossils indicate it ate sharks like guppies. Those bones Dr. Bry removed from that cliff in the backwoods of Louisiana were the first ever found anywhere in the world of this prehistoric mammal, which paleontologists still call a Basilosaurus. Dr. Harlan's size estimation was close. An actual full-grown Basilosaurus was about 82 feet long and weighed 7 tons. Of course, the largest creature ever known still exists, the blue whale, measuring 100 feet long and weighing 200 tons. Its tongue alone weighs more than the elephant. Its heart, the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Fortunately, the blue whale is not an enemy to man. Since the 1830s, we have also learned that for 40 million years, an ancient sea once covered what is now Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and parts of Tennessee. The Basilosaurus was common in that relatively shallow sea, about 600 feet deep. Some zoologists believe either the Basilosaurus or an evolved relative is currently still alive and responsible for all the world's sea serpent sightings each year, but its actual fossil record appears to have ended 37 million years ago. So there's no hard evidence that Basilosaurus still exists other than in Southern memories. So it's the article there.
That's beautiful.
So, I don't know. Obviously it's not the Basilosaurus, because I don't think there's going to be a whale up the Tensas River.
Well, it's a predatory whale.
Yeah, but still.
They were carnivores.
If this thing's 80-something feet long, this is not a huge river.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not very deep. I didn't look up the specs. I probably should have looked that up, but I don't. A lot of the pictures I saw is very muddy river, and usually that means it's not very deep.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. If it was it being the Basilosaurus, if it was a Basilosaurus, it would definitely be at sea. Much larger prey.
Right.
But I feel like if it was a Basilosaurus or a Basilosaurus, at least one body probably would have washed up on shore, and it would have been a spectacle. To say
right.
At the very least, it would have been amazing.
Oh yeah.
For anybody to see it, even if someone doesn't know what they're looking at, a huge, body. The Basilosaurus and the Ichthyosaur they're right, about neck and neck. I think the largest Ichthyosaur fossil was 85 feet, and I think they said that Basilosaurus was 82.
Yeah.
So they're very similar in size, but Ichthyosaur was like the size of a whale, but it was like shaped like a big dolphin, like a big scaly dolphin. It's kind of strange looking.
Right. So I think it's safe to say that, this is
probably something else.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you feel like it? Well, you said like a government.
Yeah.
So you think it's not an animal?
No, I don't think it's an animal. I think it was.
Really?
I don't. It looked too fluid.
But if it's so fluid and it goes under, even if it would have to be some kind of submersible something, yeah. So it's got to have ballast or something that's got to discharge as it goes down.
Unless it was just pressurized, period, and they just pulled it under, unless it was a submarine, which...
Yeah, but still submarines have got to release
Well, not if you're going down 20 feet into a river. If you're going to the bottom of the ocean, yeah, of course. But if you're going down a few feet to the bottom of a river, it's not going to make that enough difference to where you need to release pressure immediately, at least.
Yeah, but I don't know if that river can maintain some kind of submersible like that.
Never know. I don't know.
But I mean, it's pretty substantial. 27 feet. That's not like chump change.
Yes, I don't know.
So basically, you're saying you don't know.
I'm just saying I don't know. I'm saying I don't think anybody knows, except for whatever it is.
I like the idea of like a massive alligator.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But I mean, 27 feet, that would just be the back of it. You imagine the head on a 27-foot alligator? I mean, the back of it's 27 feet.
Maybe it's a sarcosuchus.
It's like a 30, 35, 40-foot alligator.
Sarcosuchus. See, I'll look up the length on a sarcosuchus, but it was massive. It was suchus is the ancestors to crocodilians.
Okay.
So anything in the suchus family, just take a crocodile and like multiply it.
So yeah, I like the alligator thing.
The sarcosuchus average length was 36 to 39 feet long. It was a giant relative of the crocodiles, with fully grown individuals being reached 11 to 12 meters and about 8.8 tons.
What it looked like? I mean,
Like big alligator.
I mean, they got a fossil record for it, right? So obviously, they don't know exactly what it looked like, but
compared to a modern day.
So it's a big crocodile, big alligator.
Yeah, it's just descendants. Or
that'd be awesome. That's what I vote for.
Yeah.
Sarcosuchus.
Yeah, Sarcosuchus or Caprosuchus, anything in the suchus family, really, or the succus, depends on how you want to pronounce it.
The problem is if it's 40 feet, I guess it could go to that river. It could maybe swim to get to the Mississippi River, but you got all those bayous and stuff in there. But I mean, that's a massive animal to be moving around in those waterways, and some of them are pretty tight from what I saw on Google Earth. That's weird. That's crazy. Anyways, well, something was on that video. That's what we feel. Obviously we're not experts, so it was a very interesting video. I'm glad we got sent to us, and maybe we'll find out some more information. If there's been other sightings, there's bound to be more sightings going forward. So, I did find some more interesting info about the Tensas River area. Of course, it's always going to come back to Bigfoot. There are lots of Bigfoot sightings in Louisiana. I couldn't find anything specific for Tensas River. Even though I couldn't find those, there's roughly, just a quick look at the BFRO, which is the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. There are 43 documented reports in Louisiana going back to the 1900s. So, Louisiana butts up against East Texas. East Texas is a hotbed. Big, it's crazy.
It's big crazy.
It's like the wild, wild west over there for Bigfoot. In the big thicket area and all that, the Sabine River, lots of crazy stuff happens over there. So, and Louisiana's got a lot of bottomlands. It's a lot of bayous, a lot of places for them to be tromping around, causing a ruckus. Bigfoot's always causing a ruckus. Also, the Tensas Rivers, there's a lot of outdoor activities. Most of the videos I saw were that weren't dealing with encounters or sightings. I was just looking for videos of the Tensas River to get a feel for the environment and the river itself. And it's big time for fishing and deer hunting. A lot of deer hunting goes on around that river. So a lot of food for some kind of predator. I imagine there's gator hunts and stuff whenever the tags come out for the bayous in that area. Another interesting note about the Tensas River that I ran across was the ivory-billed woodpecker. It's the 1944 was the last known sighting of the ivory-billed woodpecker, and it was along the Tensas River. It was in that National Wildlife Reserve or refuge area there.
You know what that was in the water, right?
It's a big woodpecker.
It's a big terrarium. They'd keep all the ivory-billed woodpeckers in it. And they saw someone coming in a plane. They were like,
"Oh my gosh, get them down! They're going to find out we got them captured." The aliens probably did.
It probably was.
The aliens probably have them in a submersible under there. There's probably like 300 ivory-billed woodpeckers just waiting to bust loose and tear up some trees.
At least 300.
You know why the aliens are probably doing that, though? They had to keep them because they're tearing up the trees, and they needed those trees for their Sasquatch. You know, the Sasquatch are
for throwing trees.
They're the guard dogs of the aliens. Yeah. So
it's gone off.
Well, we've just spun it right off the rails there. So you could be right, though.
Every episode we have is there's you can look at it like a railway. There's one railway to the end.
Yes.
But we managed to take a million cutoffs.
And then you hit the end of the flat Earth and it just falls off.
And then there's the one big turn at the very end where it's like
into a brick wall.
Bigfoots are guard dogs for aliens. And then
That's
there's
right.
a brick wall, and we hit it every episode.
That's right.
We managed to slam right into it.
We can always bring Bigfoot into it.
And then we've got to back the train up, and then.
Well, there's no backing it up. Yeah. I think, we started off the rails to begin with because we talked for 7 minutes about, I don't even know what we talked about. We wasted 7 minutes of everybody's time. Time travel, yeah, and something else.
We both have Alzheimer's.
It's basically like the show about nothing. It's almost like Seinfeld episode right here. So,
there's no point.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really.
To this wonderful episode of Awesome. Hopefully our sound is better, if nothing else. We don't sound like I said, like we're talking in a bucket or sitting in a warehouse talking. If you live around the Mensas River in Louisiana and have seen anything similar to this, or if you have had an encounter or experience of any kind, doesn't have to deal with the Mensas River, anything.
But especially with the Basilosaurus.
Or Bigfoot guard dogs. Yeah. Or ivory-billed woodpeckers that are hidden in the river by aliens. If you have any kind of encounter or experience like that and you'd like to share, we would love to hear from you. You can reach us at unexplained.reality@yahoo.com. And remember, if you want to remain anonymous, we completely understand and will honor that request just as we did in this case. You can go to unexplained.reality@yahoo.com. You can go to unexplainedreality.com, just our website, and fill out a contact form. You can also reach us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can go to those directly and search for us, or you can go to our website and hit the social media links there and do it. If you listen to us on a podcatcher that allows reviews, we ask you to rate and review us. That would be great. If you're on iTunes, rate and review us on Stitcher. If you would like to donate a little bit of change to us, you can go to our website and hit the donate button. I think that's what I've got for tonight. You got anything? Last time, this is it. Final chance. All right. So, as usual, we'd like to thank the podcasts that we like and think are great. So, if you're listening to us, you should be definitely listening to them because they're far better. The Grayling Report, Unexplained, Expanded Perspectives. Help me out. Sasquatch Chronicles, of course, my fave. Into the Fray Radio. Monsters Among Us, Confessionals, You're Being No Help,
Somewhere in the Skies,
Strange Familiars, OK Talk, Cryptid Factor, I'm on a roll, 7 Ages Research, Audio Journal. There's one last one. What is it? Oh, it's a new one I started listening to.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, I don't listen. I've listened to it, but I don't listen to him very much.
It's pretty interesting. The
Paranormal Punchers. That's the new one I started listening to. It's very, very fun. I love that one. And the Secret Trance Podcast. I think that's all the ones I listen to on a regular basis, like every week. So, okay, that's it for me. Anything? Any final words? Going once? Going twice? I guess it's gone.
Sold to the Chihuahua and white fur.
Yeah, he's been real quiet. He's not real happy because we got better microphones and we can't pick up him walking around and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's just
breathing.
He just slept through it. Yeah, breathing and grumbling and all that stuff. So,
all right, Francis. The Macho Man, yeah.
Prepare to confiscate the humans' possessions. Possessions secured. Prepare the probe.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait a hot second. No need for a probe, man. Why are you doing this anyway?
To learn from your kind. And to obtain your container of treasures.
Container of treasures? Oh, you mean my cryptid crate?
Yes, the cryptid crate you possess. We desire it. We have discovered it to be populated with many objects we find most incredible. Correct. The objects in this container cannot be produced on our home planet.
Well, you don't have to abduct people to get your own cryptid crate.
Elaborate.
Just go to cryptidcrate.com and sign up. On the first of each month, a new box filled with amazing cryptozoology-themed items will come to your mailbox, or spaceship.
Allow us to show appreciation to you, human, for this invaluable information.
Yeah, sure thing. Does this mean you're going to take me back to Earth?
Not exactly.
Roadside Reese, she was born 83 and died here in 99. Through faded flowers hung a black cross bearing her name with letters in white. Driving home from work, I had a tire blow out, and I was in a rage till I saw that sticking in the cold hard ground. 'Cause on the other side of town, there's a room in a lonely house with unrolled ribbons, posters of boys and pictures of her with friends. Everything's been kept the way it was the day she left. This memory's for mom and dad who won't see their baby again. A flat tire don't seem all that bad. I could be going home to that. And 2 rows back with a baby in her lap, I heard a young mother on the phone. 40 flat by her side and tears in her eyes. They just brought her man back home. I'd been mad with the world over a canceled flight, and hearing her words made me think I'm gonna see my family tonight. She's headed to a town where she'll walk into a lonely house with a purple heart, closet full of clothes and pictures of their wedding day. She'll start over again with a little boy that looks like him, and be forced to live with the problems a single mom has to face. Getting home a little late, it ain't so bad. I could be going home to that. pictures of her with friends.